Now loading.
Ever wondered what would happen if you could travel back in time and alter history? Welcome to the fascinating, often bewildering world of time travel paradoxes. These are not just plot points in your favorite sci-fi movies, but serious conundrums that have kept physicists and philosophers awake at night for decades. So, what is a time travel paradox? It's essentially a situation where the very possibility of going back in time creates inconsistencies that defy logic and reason. Think of it as a cosmic catch-22, a situation where the rules of cause and effect, as we understand them, get twisted into a pretzel. Now imagine for a moment you've managed to build a time machine. Let's say you travel back to a momentous event in history and change it. You've now created a new chain of events that leads to a future different from the one you initially came from. This is where the paradox kicks in. If the original timeline no longer exists, then how could you have traveled from it in the first place? It's like trying to solve a puzzle where the pieces are constantly changing shape. The more you try to fit them together, the more they morph, leaving you in a state of perpetual confusion. One of the most enticing aspects of a time travel paradox is that it challenges our understanding of the universe. It forces us to question the nature of time and reality itself. Is time linear, or is it more like a vast, sprawling web with countless intersecting threads? Can we alter the past without jeopardizing the future? Or is every event, big or small, set in stone, destined to play out in a specific way? These are the questions that make the concept of time travel paradoxes so intriguing and at the same time so perplexing. They lie at the heart of some of the most captivating stories in science fiction, and yet, they're rooted in real-world scientific theories. Yes, it's a mind-bender, isn't it? But let's dive deeper. Imagine you've got a time machine and you decide to visit your grandparents in their youth. What could possibly go wrong? Well, quite a lot, if we're being honest, especially if we delve into the peculiar world of time travel paradoxes. One such paradox that has perplexed thinkers, scientists, and even the casual sci-fi fan is the grandfather paradox. This paradox is a thought experiment that questions the very fabric of time and our existence in it. Picture this. You've traveled back to a time when your grandparents were young, before your parents were even a twinkle in their eyes. Now let's say you accidentally or intentionally caused the death of your grandfather. A chilling thought indeed, but stick with me here. If your grandfather dies before your parent is born, then logically you would never have been born. But here's where things get strange. If you were never born, then how could you have traveled back in time to kill your grandfather in the first place? This, my friends, is the grandfather paradox. It's a conundrum that questions the very possibility of time travel. It's a loop that seemingly has no exit. A closed cycle of cause and effect that contradicts itself. The paradox revolves around the idea of changing the past in such a way that it prevents the future, your present, from happening. It's like attempting to rewrite a page in a book that's already been published. You can't change what's already been written without causing a ripple effect that alters the entire narrative. In the same way, altering events in the past could potentially unravel the tapestry of the present and future. And if you think about it, the grandfather paradox is more than just a mind-bending conundrum. It's a philosophical exploration of the delicate balance between life, death, and the flow of time itself. It's a strange thought, isn't it? But paradoxes don't stop there. What if an object or information could exist without ever being created? Now this might sound like a riddle, but it's actually the basis of a fascinating concept in time travel theory called the bootstrap paradox. Let's dive into the heart of this paradox. Imagine a scenario where an object or a piece of information is sent back in time. Now this isn't just a casual trip down memory lane. This object or information becomes trapped within an infinite cause-effect loop. It's as if it's stuck on a cosmic treadmill, running in circles through time but never actually getting anywhere. This loop is so tightly wound that the object or information no longer has a discernible point of origin. It's like asking, which came first, the chicken or the egg, but with a time travel twist. The object exists because it was sent back in time, but it was only able to be sent back because it already existed. It's a head-spinning cycle that seems to defy logic, and yet it's a cornerstone of many time travel theories. The bootstrap paradox gets its name from the phrase, pulling yourself up by your bootstraps. It's an impossible task, right? You can't lift yourself off the ground by pulling on your own boots. And yet, in this paradox, that's exactly what seems to be happening. The object or information is pulling itself into existence, with no clear starting point or creator. It's a concept that's been explored in many science fiction stories and movies, and it's a favorite among time travel enthusiasts. It challenges our understanding of cause and effect, and forces us to question our perceptions of time and existence. But remember, this is purely theoretical. We don't have any definitive proof that such a paradox could actually occur. However, it's fascinating to ponder, isn't it? In a universe as vast and complex as ours, who's to say what's truly impossible? This paradox certainly gives chicken or egg a whole new meaning. What if every action you take to prevent an event from happening actually causes the event to happen? Imagine this: you're a time traveler and you're caught in a loop of events that seem to be leading you to a predestined outcome. This is the essence of the predestination paradox, a conundrum that has fascinated philosophers and science fiction writers alike. To break it down, the predestination paradox suggests that time is a fixed line. Any attempt to change the course of events is not only futile, but can actually lead to the very outcome you're trying to avoid. It's a bit like trying to swim against a powerful current. The more you struggle, the further you get swept away. Let's consider a hypothetical situation. Suppose you've learned that a catastrophic event is going to occur. Being a time traveler, you decide to go back in time to prevent it. But here's the twist. Your actions in the past set the stage for the very disaster you were trying to prevent. In other words, the catastrophe was always destined to happen, and you were always destined to be part of it. It's a cycle that feeds on itself, a snake eating its own tail. The predestination paradox poses some intriguing questions about free will and fate. If we're locked into a predetermined timeline, do we really have any control over our actions? Or are we simply playing out a script that's already been written? It's a chilling thought, isn't it? Moreover, the paradox also raises issues about causality, the principle that cause precedes effect. In a predestined loop, it's hard to tell which came first, the chicken or the egg. Did your actions in the past cause the future event, or did the future event cause you to act in the past? So, are we mere puppets in the hands of fate, or can we break free from the chains of predestination? As we delve deeper into the mysteries of time travel, these are the questions that continue to challenge our understanding of reality itself. So, how do we solve these paradoxes, or can they even be solved? Let's dive into some theoretical solutions that might just untangle the knots of time travel paradoxes. One approach is the concept of parallel universes or multiverses. In a multiverse, each decision creates a new universe, a new reality. Imagine you've traveled back in time to meet your younger self. Instead of creating a paradox, you've merely stepped into another universe where this meeting is possible. There's no paradox because you haven't actually changed your past. You've ventured into a different universe with its own separate timeline. It's like flipping through channels on a cosmic TV, each channel a different reality. Another possible solution is the Novikov self-consistency principle. This principle suggests that the laws of physics might conspire to prevent paradoxes from happening. In other words, the universe has a way of ensuring consistency. If you attempted to change the past, some form of cosmic intervention would occur to maintain the original timeline. It's as though time has its own immune system, warding off anything that threatens the continuity of events. Finally, there's the idea that time travel might be possible, but changing the past isn't. This theory suggests a form of temporal inertia, where the past resists any attempts at alteration. You can observe, but not interfere. It's like watching a movie. You can rewind and replay scenes, but you can't change the script. These theories are intriguing, aren't they? But let's remember to take them with a grain of salt. After all, they're just theories, and our understanding of time and the universe is still evolving. As we delve deeper into the mysteries of quantum mechanics and relativity, who knows what we might discover? Remember, time travel is still a theory, but it's always fun to ponder the possibilities. Until next time, keep your minds open and your curiosity piqued.